Happy Sunday, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to day 7 of the V.E.D.A challenge, V.E.D.A vlog every day April. And today, I know I'm a little late to the party talking about this because it's kind of old news. It was 2 days ago, but I still want to talk about it regardless. This, if I don't pull off all the cables, this is my Xbox 360. As you can see, I've got one of the old fat elite ones with a wireless adapter. Doesn't come built in. Can't afford a slim right now. Economy's tough. Obama, even though I live in Canada. So I think you guys know what I'm going to talk about. It's the rumors that were circling around that the next Xbox, the 720 or whatever they're planning on calling it, we'll know more information come E3, and I'm sure they'll announce it by then. Rumors going around that there's a possibility that this system will have an always online DRM system for the console itself. And everyone knows the headaches of always online DRM services. I mean, you look back at Diablo 3 and the Era 37 debacle, and then most recently SimCity, where people couldn't get onto the servers. And if you can't get on the servers, you can't play your single-player game in the comfort of your own home. And I know a couple of Assassin's Creed games had that problem as well, because Ubisoft tried doing that and it failed, but then they just said, you know what, we're just going to take the whole thing out, just play it at your own leisure. I understand that it's to combat piracy, as piracy is a little bit rampant. I don't know the details of current gen consoles, because I don't know how you can pirate those things these days. Except for the Wii, I know how you can do that one, but it's going to kill your consumer base if you put this in Microsoft. I'm just telling you right now. Because for a lot of people, they don't live in the city. I mean, there's a lot of people who enjoy video games, have consoles like this, but they don't have internet connection. I mean, I don't think Microsoft really understands that a great portion of our population, like our world population, cannot get internet. Case in point, when I got my first Xbox before it red ringed on me, I, at the time, was still living at home with my mother. I kind of moved back after my father passed away to kind of help out a little bit. And what happened was, I had gotten an Xbox 360. I can't remember if she'd gotten it for me as a Christmas gift or if I bought it with my own money. I can't really remember at this point. But the problem is that she lived out in what was called, it was a really, really, really rural area. She lived out near the mountains. And you can't get cable. You can't get cable television out there. You can't get cable internet. Hell, we're just privileged to have telephone capabilities out there. So for the longest time, even when we got our first PC, we were on dial-up. Dial-up was great. I mean, we could communicate and, you know, get on the internet and all that, but as far as like decent speeds, it was horrible. Like, you couldn't do anything, and the internet back then was evolving so quickly that you really need to have high speed. High speed wasn't really prevalent in any area until like the turn of the century, until like the year 2000. That was the only viable option. Is you could get dial-up, or you could get high speed at that point. So living out there, helping out, it really sucked because you had this 360. I had this 360 that had all these abilities that you could do online, but I couldn't use them. I remember distinctly, my brother was still living in town. I took my entire 360 to his place just so I could download some goddamn Guitar Hero 3 songs and some map packs for Halo 3. Like, it was nuts. And I think I played a few matches there. It's like, hey, since I'm here, can I just play a few matches online? He's like, yeah, sure. They gotta understand, it's like, not everyone can get that. I mean, by the time my mother sold the house, she sold the house and moved up here to town where the rest of us live. Like my brother, my sister, and her husband, we all live here. So she moved up here too. But before she left, she had to put this huge antenna on her house with this tiny little box about the size of a electrical outlet. The technology is really, really weak. It was satellite through a company called oh god, the name escapes me right now. If anyone knows, it's a Canadian company, ExploreNet. That's it, ExploreNet. Man, is this company a piece of shit. I can attest to that because my cousin Brandy has the same service, because she lives out in a rural area, and they constantly cut her off, because with this service you're only allowed a certain data cap per month. If you exceed that, then they charge you extra. If you exceed that, they're like, you're abusing our servers, we're cutting you off. And there's nothing you can do about it, because you have absolutely no fucking choice. So Microsoft, you gotta take these things into account before you decide to make an always online DRM console. Because people will want to play your console, but if they have a steady internet connection 24/7, they're not gonna buy it. They're just gonna stick with their older consoles and just tell you to go fuck off. Or they'll get the PlayStation 4, because guess what? That doesn't need always online. The Wii U doesn't always need to be online. I understand it needs to combat piracy. But if people can't get online, you're just basically, and this guy, this Adam guy, who's already being turned into a big meme, he's just basically telling anyone who has a problem with it to go fuck off. He's like, hashtag deal with it. It might as well be hashtag go fuck off. Don't buy our product. We don't need you. Everyone else will buy our product. That's not how it works. If you leave this in, I guarantee you your sales are going to suffer. I mean, sales are suffering enemy. I mean, look at the Wii U. It's not even selling all that well. And I hardly doubt the PlayStation 4 and the next Xbox are going to sell well. I honestly think that we're coming close to a video game crash. Publishers, developers are being closed down. New consoles are not being well received by the public. Fewer and fewer games are getting made. And the fact is that if a game does get made and gets published, they're expected to sell 5-6 million units, or else it's considered a failure. Square Enix thinks Tomb Raider was a failure. It sold 3.5 million copies. No, it's a failure. Look, you're not going to get the Call of Duty and the Halo sales. You know why? Because those are sold to everyone. The other games that everyone else makes are sold just to gamers. Halo and Call of Duty is sold to the masses, because that's all that they play. They are like COD players and Halo players. That's all they play. And I am completely getting off topic now. I'm trying to talk about always online DRM, and I keep talking about other parts of gaming. But let me tell you this, Microsoft. If you put always online DRM in your console, you will fail. Your sales will suffer, and us as gamers and consumers are going to suffer as well. Please do not put this in your console. I hope to God at E3, when you announce this system, that it changes the bar, it gives us a new gaming experience. With a controller, don't give us any motion controllers. I mean, I'll give a little clip about motion control. Motion control in fully interactive environments will only work for two possible things. Number one, bring back virtual reality. Graphics, processing power, like immersion in games. It's come to that point now where you could bring back virtual reality and it could work. We had here in Moncton, where I live, we have an indoor amusement park called Crystal Palace. Years ago, they used to have like a science section, and they also had a section that was kind of like an internet cafe for people who didn't have internet access at home. I remember going there, paying him like $2 for like 10 minutes of internet access, and I printed off and wrote down so many cheat codes and so many Game Genie codes for games that I didn't even know existed. But they had also two virtual reality machines. One was a sit-down flight sim that you were in, like biplanes, like World War II biplanes, not World War II, World War One. Like the Red Baron, and you're just shooting each other. That was incredible. The graphics looked like Star Fox and ran just twice as slow, but it was pretty cool. And there was another one where it was sort of like a first-person shooter, very low polygon count. Like you had this hand, and attached to it was like this gray hexagon. It was a solid shape. Now you could either play against somebody else that was linked up, or there was a dragon that was flying around, and then you could shoot at that. I mean, just like the graphical power of systems today, like my Xbox, my PS3, they could easily handle a virtual reality setup. So okay. So I said virtual reality could work. The second one, the only way that I will ever buy into like full motion immersion into video gaming, build a freaking holodeck. Give us a holodeck, because a holodeck is the ultimate game system. You see people on Star Trek, they play. I consider when Picard was doing those. God, what was his name? God damn it, I can't remember the name of the detective, but you guys know, if you guys are Trekkies, you know that he had a holodeck novel that he was going through, and he was a detective. That's like an adventure mode. That's like LA Noire in real life. You are playing that character. But I've never seen anyone like within holodeck programs create something like so ridiculous that it wouldn't exist. I mean, you can make a cartoony world. I mean, Tom Paris and Voyager made a 1930s serial holodeck program. Come on, let's make a holodeck program where I could walk around the Mushroom Kingdom. I could walk around Hyrule. I could walk around Planet Zebus with Samus. That's the next evolution, but we're probably like 100 years off of that. Anyways, this ramble has gone too long. I wanted to talk about always online DRM, and I talked about way too much about the gaming industry. I will see you guys tomorrow, because tonight is WrestleMania 29, and tomorrow will be, did I get my predictions right? What were the match results? How was the show overall? Did John Cena really turn heel? Did CM Punk beat the streak? Spoiler alert, he's not going to. Anyways, I guys will see you tomorrow for day 8 of the V.E.D.A. Challenge, V.E.D.A. Vlog Everyday April. Later.